Calvin Johnson, aka Megatron, has been considered one of the greatest receivers of all time. In 2021, he was put in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Throughout his career, he had 11,619 receiving yards, along with 83 receiving touchdowns. Throughout his career, he had a lot of amazing catches. And that is why I am putting him back in the Madden to see how well he performs. I also gave Megatron his old quarterback. Now, Matthew Stafford isn't an 87 overall in the game. I gave him his overall from when Calvin Johnson was on the Madden cover. Let's go ahead and hop right into a game against the Philadelphia Eagles to see how well Megatron performs. Alright, on the first play, let's see how well Calvin Johnson does in burning the defenders. Is he going to take it for the touchdown? And yes, he is. A 75-yard touchdown to start off the game. Calvin Johnson is going to be burning a lot of these receivers because he ran a 4.35 in the NFL Combine. Is Calvin Johnson wide? Yes, he is. Is he going to catch it? And yes, he does. He catches it one-handed. That's a 97-yard touchdown from Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson wide open. Let's get a nasty juke in there. Breaks a tackle. Spin. Broken ankles. Is he going to take it for a touchdown? Yes, he will. All right, Calvin Johnson with an amazing route run and a beautiful toe tap. And there's Calvin Johnson. Amazing blocks. Calvin Johnson just won't go down. All right, you know what? We're going to throw this up to Calvin Johnson, and of course he catches it! Mossing Darius Slay Jr. And there's Calvin Johnson, and Darius Slay misses, and he gets a nasty juke. Is he going to make it to the end zone? Yes, he does! Now here's Calvin Johnson making an amazing grab! This catch certainly looks familiar. We ended up winning 52-24. Matthew Stafford had 620 yards and 7 touchdowns. And then Calvin Johnson had 519 yards and then 6 touchdowns. So let's go ahead and sim to the playoffs and see how well Calvin Johnson does in his first year back. And the Lions ended up going 5-12. Let's go see how well Calvin Johnson and Matthew Stafford did. Matthew Stafford actually had a really amazing season. He had 5,000 passing yards, 39 touchdowns, and only 15 interceptions. Calvin Johnson was able to get 1,100 yards on his own, and he was also able to get 12 touchdowns on his own. Okay, for some reason, our defense is a 72. I don't expect Matthew Stafford or Calvin Johnson to do that good, but let's go ahead and sim to the playoffs. First of all, Calvin Johnson did not make top 3 for receiving. Matthew Stafford actually had a really good season. He had 4,900 yards, 33 touchdowns, and only 12 interceptions, which is a little bit shocking. Calvin Johnson was able to get 1,600 yards and 11 touchdowns. Alright, it looks like we're going to have to go to our final season. We are going to win the Super Bowl this year. Our defense is a 73 overall. And as I expected, we went 4-13. Matthew Stafford, and he passed for a good amount of yards. He had 4,800 yards, 36 touchdowns, and only 11 interceptions. And Calvin Johnson had 1,400 yards and 14 touchdowns. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Calvin Johnson is one of the greatest receivers of all time. I mean, he was crazy, and I'm really shocked that the Lions never made the Super Bowl. And he has earned his name as one of the all-time greats.